I'm from Italy and watching Turf Talk with Stokes and Logan.
If pen and ink, I can link together words in my bidding. So I would urge you listen to these words that I'm spitting. We all die, some of us early and some late. Like Pac-Man trying to escape his fate. Like shredding check with no grade, fishing with no bait, picnics and no date, paying to get laid, boys and no fade, just no rate. Like using mathematical formulas to find your soulmate. But where this point is, baby, yeah, it's true. You got to sit back, realize you're gonna die. Get off your couch and start living your damn life. This time flies, damn the grim reaper gonna arrive. You can't escape fate, so stare it straight in the eyes. What you been doing lately? What you gonna do today? I'm gonna hitchhike to USA. I'm gonna get back to West LA. I'm gonna slap my thighs right across the face. I'm gonna beat the cops in a high-speed chase. Gonna call my dad to make amends. I'm gonna pay cash money for Mercedes-Benz. I'm gonna sit in the White House and smoke some grass. I'm gonna jump back, kiss my own white ass. I'm gonna take the world in a bare knuckle bra. Gonna grab this life I got, yeah. I was living in a constant state of despair.
Here we are, Stocks and Logan, as always. That's always my intro, isn't it? But we're back again. We're going to do a divisional show, and we're going to start with the Redskins. We're going to start with the Redskins division, even though the Giants didn't win it. We'll talk about the Giants as well. But everyone, in Madden circles is talking about RG3. So let's start with the Redskins. Let's waste nobody's time. Stang will be really happy, the owner of the Redskins, to finally get this divisional breakdown started. What do you think of the Redskins roster overall, before we talk about anybody else? Obviously, RG3 sticks out, but just the roster in general, what do you think of it?
Overall, the Redskins roster is very intriguing. They got some key components on their team that, kind of build that pyramid, pretty solid on the outcore. And on the inside, they got some decent weapons. Overall, their run game is probably what, stands out. What kind of game is it? Is it a good run game or is it a shaky run game? It's skeptical in that way, but when you hit on the draft like they did with RG3, I mean, you're building that foundation, and with Stang's gonna be very dangerous with this team, and we know he can make some trades. He's a very good drafter. So he's got a good foundation. Where he goes with it shall be seen.
We've talked about Stang and his ability, his love for RG3, and how he's got to stay controlled. I love Stock's analogy of the kid in the candy store on his birthday. If you can just hold that energy in into the right moment. Stang can figure out when to run with RG3 and when to pass, and really manipulate the defense that way. So they're thinking, oh, he's going to run, he throws, and then he runs with him. If he can manage that and keep the injuries low, because obviously you can't run with him forever, because if you turn him into just a solo running back, he's going to get injured, or at least have some bruises. And Stock's favorite feature in this game so far is the grass stains in the jersey, and if you run with him a lot, he's going to get a lot of grass stains in the jersey, and that's not good for your franchise quarterback. So, that being said, all in all, I like the team, and RG3 is worth it, but I don't know if you know where I'm going, Stocks, but I wouldn't touch this team because, as we know, me and Stocks are on the rule committee with Manny this year. We're helping him out with the commissioner duties, and we decided as the rules committee, I'm pretty sure this is out already, but we're going to keep the original draft order. So that means if you give up a first-round pick in real life, it's going to be reflected in our league. Because the idea is we're taking over that team, as of 13. So the Redskins have no first-round draft pick for this upcoming draft that we're going to be drafting next year. Does that hurt a bit?
Yeah, it hurts the Redskins, as in. Mm-hmm. I think real life and in Madden this year.
I think they lost 2, but I could be wrong. But I definitely know they have lost the upcoming draft.
Okay, well let's just get over this real quick. For Madden's sakes, it doesn't help not having a first-round draft pick when you have a team like the Redskins where they have a couple holes that they really would need to be filled. And without those first-round pick, it's going to hurt them. But this year's Madden, we have been told that the 7th round, 6th round, and the 5th round, you can grab a star player if you do your scouting right.
Yeah, you could get a guy who's maybe injured, find a gym here and there, or just develop a guy. So the 6th round isn't just a throwaway. You might not be able to get a star from day one, but you could develop a guy into a starter within a year or two, as Stocks was alluding to. Now, give me the stats on the wide receiver as we have those ratings now finally.
For the Redskins, we're talking.
Yeah, Redskins
Yeah,
wide
we
receiver.
got Santana Moss at an 83.
Mm-hmm.
The new Pierre Garçon at an 82. Josh Morgan coming over from the 49ers at a 79. And then you got some, fourth wide receivers in Hankerson, Anthony Armstrong, which is intriguing, and then a burner in Brandon Banks.
Yeah.
He's more of a
He's
special teams guy.
He's a Josh Cribbs guy. Definitely special teams plug in definitely right away. Maybe you can use him as a wide receiver in certain packages. Definitely not a wide receiver that you would have out there every down, I don't think. I'm not really wowed by the receiving core. I don't know if Santana Moss can be on the outside anymore. I like him maybe in the slot still, but he's lost a step or two, or maybe three, to me.
Well, yeah, Matty's given him a 95 speed, which he still has, and is a 94 agility, which is pretty good, 93 acceleration. So, Santana Moss is not, he's not the superstar that he once was, but he's definitely can do a little bit of everything, So RG3 will find him. The person that's intriguing is Pierre Garçon. What coming over from the Colts. What type of wide receiver are you going to see in this guy? Is he going to be the deep threat? Is he going to catch the underneath routes over the middle? So that's the more intriguing person.
Now their tight end is a little bit underrated, and I do like Hankerson from Miami. By the way, I think he could develop into a star player in real life and in Madden. I really like that wide receiver. But as far as their tight end, a little bit of a sleeper, but I do like their tight end.
Yeah, Fred Davis, 6'4", 258.
Mm-hmm.
Rated 83 overall with an 84 speed. He's kind of emerging, or he's trying to break into that. Maybe that top 5 of the Grahams and the Gronkowskis and David Gates. And, those type of players, he's on that threshold, and Stang's going to be looking for him because Stang, with Cook, he had last year.
Oh, yeah, he loves his
with
tight end.
Tennessee, he loves his tight end. So he's going to do that check down to Davis. So you're going to definitely see him put up some really good stats.
That's why
but you can't forget about Chris Cooley on the other side.
Oh.
The old veteran. They gave him a 79 overall.
Not bad.
No.
2 tight end sets. But the problem with the 2 tight end sets, usually they're running plays, and to be honest, nice segue, right? But to be honest, I don't see a good running back in the system. I mean, Halou maybe, but I don't see him as an every down back. It's just my opinion.
No, the running back situation with, like I said, starting off with the Redskins with Halou, Hightower, and Royster, I don't know. I don't think any one of these guys are a one running back. I think they're all, a 2B, 2A running back. That could put more pressure on RG3. We don't know how Stang's going to like these guys. Maybe move somebody. But yeah, Roy Lou's at a 79, Hightower at a 77, Royster at a 73. Nobody's really standing out there.
So we went through the roster a little bit. Now, as we go on and we talk about these, different things, I want you to put your coach's hat on, or your GM's hat. We know there's a playbook out there, the Carolina Panthers, that Stang could use very efficiently with RG3 if he chooses. The triple option, quarterback, read options, different option type plays, very run-oriented quarterback style plays, a little bit of college football kind of throwback, to give them some credit. Would you do that? Because he is their only weapon. He's the only thing. Now, he might develop players, he loves the tight end, so people might learn to respect the tight end throws, especially with him as the owner. But would you throw your best weapon to the wolves and run that option a lot? I don't know. It just scares me running.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. It is a risky, proposition that he has to face. What type of offense does he want to run? It looks to me, I was just playing with RG3 for the first time, that he can be almost a pocket quarterback with the ability to run. Mm-hmm. But like we said, is Stang going to get that, okay, everybody's covered and I'm going? You know what I mean? Is he just going to tuck the ball and run, or is he going to take that, that maybe 1 or 2 extra seconds to fire that ball in and make the completion versus tucking and running? AAK Mike Vick. You're not going to say, Cam Newton did that because he really doesn't. You know what I mean? He scored 14 touchdowns last year, but I watched a lot of his games. He waited for his wide receivers to the last chance before he ran. So Stang's going to have that proposition with, like you said, does he stay or does he run?
A lot of Cam Newton's touchdowns, if I remember correctly, weren't exactly running out of the pocket 30 yards down the field. They were more like goal line. I'm 5 yards out. I'm going to roll out. Here's a touchdown for you.
Yeah. What I saw was a lot of coverage. Like all his wide receivers were covered, and then he would go instead of forcing it. And that's why he put up great stats as he did as a throwing and his interception rates.
So going back to the owner Stang, do you think Stang will be able to do that? Yes or no? I don't think so.
I'm going to say no. I think he's going to just, like you said, he's going to look at his stats and his attributes and play with them as he probably already has. And it's just going to be too tempting and too easy if he's playing a weaker defense to just tuck and run. But like we said, his injuries as an 85, I don't know what's that going to compare to and what it's going to come out to.
Matthew Stafford last year was rated a 65 injury rating. He only got injured twice all season. Now he's rated 65. Does that mean he gets injured the first hit? Does that mean an 85 guy is in risk of getting injured, moderately? We don't know how the injury is to calculate. But I think it's going to take Stang a bit because he's a little itchy finger, kind of owner to me. He likes the explosive, prime time, being in the spotlight, kind of thing. And with RG3, I just think it's going to be too tempting. Now, do I think he'll learn how to manage him? Maybe. But I don't think there's a chance he doesn't take off a little too early sometimes. And heck, that might pay off sometimes, Stocks, with some 70-yard touchdowns with, some 50-yard gains. But you also might get a rim racker when you get knocked down by a guy like Ray Lewis or the Giants' Justin Tuck comes around the corner and you think you've got an open lane and he, snags you right across the, face mask. Because I'll tell you what, in real life, those guys are going to want to get a hold of RG3. Maybe have a penalty or two just to send a message to him. And trust me, guys in Madden will want to send a message to RG3 as well. And let's face it, Stang can be a bit annoying in the chat room, so the owners in the chat rooms are going to want to send a message to him alone. Is there anything else we need to talk about the Redskins? I like their linebackers. London Fletcher is solid. Ray Lewis type, very smart. Can prove he can still do it. I don't know how he does it. I think he gets in a time machine or something. But the age is going to catch up to him, And I like him now, but I don't know if he's got good young, linebackers.
I love Brian Arakpo. He's just a freak. You can put him on the line and he can rush a quarterback. You can put him as the linebacker. He'll still get to the quarterback. Their cornerbacks, I'm pretty happy with. Hall and Wilson, 2 solid, cornerbacks that will definitely help.
I don't like D'Angelo Hall. I think he's done. But
his attributes not too bad. He's in his eighth season, 86 overall, 97 speed. So he's going to be able to run with those fast wide receivers. He's not the top.
What's his man in zone real quick? I know you got to zip over there and check. So, but I wasn't saying they don't have good linebackers as Stocks checks this. So saying, I don't want you to yell at me, buddy, but what I was saying is, I don't know if they got a middle linebacker that could fill in after London Fletcher. You know, we talk about Arapo being on the edge. We talk about Kerrigan being on the edge. But those edge, linebackers, those are in a 3-4. I'm going to get after the quarterback, stand up, play a little bit outside linebacker. I'm talking about, do they have a replacement for that middle? And without a first-round draft pick, middle linebackers don't just grow on trees.
Yeah, Hall's man coverage is 85 and his zone is 95. So he's better in zone coverage.
95? Hall in the zone?
Yep.
He must have got a payment from Donnie Moore or something. That's a little high to me, man.
I'm going to say yes, that's a little high.
That's a little high. I mean, I might not be the biggest D'Angelo Hall fan, so I'll try to digress a little bit, but that's a little high to me. So, any other comments about the Redskins we got to mention? I mean, they're in a tough division. Do you think they can win a division? What's your...
No.
Okay. No. You know they're not going to win the division.
Until someone can beat the Giants, Jim, and, show me that they can, put up good games against him, I still think he owns the division. We shall see. But you can't... Until someone beats him, you still have to give him the belt,
Now, we're doing a divisional show, Stocks, and Manny requested we do a prediction show after we do the divisional breakdowns.
Okay.
So...
Well, I can't give my true prediction. All I can give you is from right now.
Right.
To beat the champ, you got to beat the champ, The whole Ric Flair thing, so.
I like the talent of the Giants a lot more. I just think the Eagles have more Madden talent than the Redskins. I just don't see it happening. Sting's a very valuable player, so he's probably going to win 3, maybe 4 games more than he should. But I don't see that winning the division. You got the Giants in their class Madden player. He's going to have a 97 overall quarterback with that, with his skills. No chance. And then he's got one of the best guys coming to the NFC with True coming in. He was the Broncos owner, which I think he took the Broncos last year and he did a lot better than he should have done with that team. Got him to some championship games in the AFC. And so when you talk about, maybe 2, great owners, not just good owners, great owners, it's going to be tough for Runner and Stang to, hold court in that division. But we'll see. We'll talk about it in our prediction show, but we got to move on now to the Giants. And the Giants are interesting to me. We all know their quarterback, Eli Manning, got 97 overall. He deserves it, right, Sox? We talked about this before.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He has to. You have to give credit where credit's due.
We've talked about it before. We'll try not to waste your time too much. We're really, really, really trying to be more organized and get right to the point. I mentioned on a previous show that I think his throw power is 92, and his accuracy was like 94, overall. So we're not talking about, a phenomenal thrower for being an elite quarterback, but his awareness was something like 97 awareness or something. I mean, it was off the charts for his awareness. And, we all know his clutch ability. We all know he's one of the toughest quarterbacks to bring down. Everyone talks about Ben Roethlisberger. I think Eli Manning is the toughest quarterback to bring down in the NFL. I mean, that guy's pocket presence, the move and the shift, he's not a speedster guy. I mean, we're not talking about, running out of the pocket. We're talking about feet work. I mean, he's got some of the best escapability I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because of the Super Bowl, a few years ago. Eli Manning's, finally got some Madden love. And that's hard to get from Donnie Moore at times, trust me. What do you think about the rest of the team, though?
Well, it all starts with the owner.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the owner, Jim, is just what he's not that flashy owner.
No.
But he's a grinder, and he's like a mathematician when he plays Madden. He just disassembles whatever you have, what you think. And like you said, with an upgrade in Eli Manning, he's not going to come in here and make any big moves. Not that we know of, or what he's done over his time here. it's going to be dangerous because Victor Cruz is coming into this game rated as a 90 with 94 speed. You know, he's not the biggest wide receiver. He's only 6 feet. But
those are very interesting team stocks. I mean, we talked about Eli Manning and how Eli definitely deserved the rating he got. You look at Eli, and he's a 97, and I know a lot of people have problems with Eli because he always gets compared to Peyton, but that's not fair, is it, Stux?
No, because he's capable to do everything on the field, and he's proven it. And his ratings, you know, have to go up. Everything has to go up.
So just to finish the Eli Manning talk, we think the 97 is worthy of what he got. You know.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It has to.
And like I mentioned, you know, his accuracy isn't perfect for a 97. They gave him stats that are very reflective of his actual, you know, who he actually is. You look at a guy like, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers doesn't have the awareness that Eli Manning has. Really, all they did with Eli is they boosted his awareness. I think he has one of the highest awarenesses for quarterbacks, which seems to fit because that guy is harder to tackle. You know, he always knows where the pressure is. He has a good sense about football. I mean, he's not going to whip it out there like Matthew Stafford. He's not going to drop it like Drew Brees. He's going to do a balanced, you know, act between the two of those things and have a really good awareness of when he needs to do certain things. And he's got like an uncanny ability of just knowing where you know, people are and, you know, what time's on the clock. That's like Super Bowl mentality kind of stuff. And finally, Madden, you know, reciprocates that and gives him some respect. So I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Well, yeah, you have to give him the respect, you know, on and off the field. You know, he's come a long way. He's got 2 Super Bowls. You know, he's in that category. And if you don't give it to him, you're not being a football fan, you know, because you don't like somebody or, you know, you don't like whatever reason you like them. You can't do that because that's not smart. That's not a smart football fan.
Well, we already talked about the NFC North, and, you know, I'm not a Packers fan. I'm not a Bears fan, but we tried to break that division down because me and Stocks are smart football fans, and we realize, you know, you're going to sound stupid if you want to hold it against him because he's Peyton's brother, or, you know, whatever the reason you don't like him is. Now, is he the greatest quarterback? No, but we've seen with a guy like Jim of the Giants, he can work with Eli Manning. Eli Manning won an MVP the one year we gave MVPs away with Eli Manning. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, Eli Manning is very capable, and he's very capable with a user like Jimmy. So I'm excited to see what, you know, he does with him.
Oh yeah, that aspect, you know, getting that some of the boost ratings with this Giants team, you know, Jim's going to come out and not do anything special. He's not going to trade anybody. He's going to keep the team, you know, the way it is. He's going to come in here, you know, very quietly. He doesn't say nothing. I noticed that about him. He doesn't come in here, doesn't, you know, run his mouth, you know, doesn't blob about stuff. And he just comes in and he puts the smackdown on guys, you know, with just clean play. And he's a great owner to look at and model, you know, after the Gridiron Gamers because, I mean, the stuff he does with the sticks is just unbelievable.
And, you know, the only guys he's ever complained about were guys that, I mean, we're honestly doing things wrong. I mean, the guy's not going to come in and whine about a loss. He's not going to come in, you know, very Tom Coughlin-like, honestly. I mean, Tom Coughlin's not a big talker either, so his style of game really fits who the Giants really are. Now, we should have mentioned with the Lions, and I totally forgot, this is my fault, but the wide 9 is in the game this year, Stocks, and the wide 9 is going to benefit teams, 2 of them in this division, I think, if the Eagles chooses to, you know, stick with it and use the wide 9. The Lions use it a lot. And going back to the Giants, who we're talking about now in first down, the Giants use it a ton with their, you know, defensive ends. I don't know if you know a lot about the wide 9 because I know the Packers don't use it.
No.
It brought Aaron Rodgers down a few times, so maybe you're familiar with it from that. What it is it spreads your linebackers or your defensive ends way out, almost like deer in the headlights kind of thing. It puts them way out on the edge. Not a glitch or anything. But the problem with it is if you don't have the right personnel, you'll leave wide open lanes for the running back.
Yes, there's certain lanes that...
Truck size.
Yeah.
You have to get to the quarterback quick. And the Giants have guys like Osi Minura, Jason Pierre-Paul, JPP, guys like that who can get to the ball quick. Now, do you like that with the Giants?
Well,
I would love it.
I was just thinking before we started this, I'm like, man, the Giants, looking over their ratings of the boost that they've gotten,
yeah,
they're scary. I mean, they just got super playmakers, and they're just a scary team. And I mean, Victor Cruz just going up like he did is just going to make that team more deadly.
Now, we agree Victor Cruz probably isn't going to duplicate it in real life. I mean, I think he'll be a good player. I just don't see him duplicating his stats. Like, from a fantasy perspective, in an actual fantasy league, I wouldn't draft Victor Cruz for what he's valued at in real life. But in Madden, Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks are going to be monsters.
Yeah, no, the Victor Cruz, the whole, you look at the way he played last year, a lot of it was he would catch the ball, within 10 yards and the two defenders would fall down and he would run it 90 yards. That's great to be able to do that. But the boost he got in Madden this year is just off the charts.
Too
90
much?
overall, 94 speed,
yeah,
97 acceleration, 95 agility, 93 catching. I mean, this guy is just going to be just a nightmare mismatch because you're going to try to have your second best cornerback up against him. And I don't, he's just going to find him, and just probably just tear this league up.
Now, we all know he rubs that cover 2 very well. He's one of the best cover 2 Madden players that I've seen in a while. He's very balanced. From the demo, Bradshaw was very tough to bring down. So it's going to be a really, really dynamic team. I think they're one of the most balanced teams in the league. Quite frankly, I don't really see a big hole with this team. I really don't. You got Prince Amara at cornerback. I mean, if Stocks wants to read off his stats, he's going to be really amazing corner. But really, honestly, we don't even have to. I mean, I already know that guy's going to be great. I mean, they got a young running back in Wilson who they can develop out of Virginia Tech. I mean, with their first-round pick, I mean, they got some players slipped to them in the draft or what have you that are going to be good players.
They upgraded in tight end a little bit by actually getting somebody name-worthy, Martellus Bennett, 79, and they got your boy Sean Rogers at defensive tackle.
Yeah, well,
rated at a 79.
Bennett always plays better in Madden. Wouldn't you agree? I'd be a little bit more afraid of him in real life, because he's got all the pressure on him. But in Madden terms, he's going to be a cook, a cook type tight end. I think he's extremely athletic. Extremely athletic. He can really move. I'd be afraid to see what could happen. Do you see any holes on this team? I mean, there is.
No, man. I mean, like I said, this team is just, it's just deadly quiet. He's gonna be like the sniper up on the hill, and he's just gonna start picking people off.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's 12-0, and he's just running the league. And no, he really doesn't. If I had to nitpick, maybe the offensive line, but there's no way, man. I mean, you got Chris Snead, right guard, 88. I mean, just starting inside. Then you move over to the left guard. You got David Deal, 81. David Bowers is the center, 77. Left tackle, Will Beatty, 78. I mean, I'm just nitpicking there. I mean, no.
I mean, yeah, we'd really have to nitpick. Now, because of that, you're going to get expectations. So what are the expectations for the Giants?
Super Bowl or bust. I mean, he's done it before.
Yeah.
So his schemes just fit well with this team.
I don't know if has he won a Super Bowl? I don't think he's won one.
No, I don't know if he's won it, but
he's been
undefeated, right?
Yeah, he went undefeated in a season, and he's been knocking on the promised land. I mean, if you were going down the yellow brick road of the Wizard of Oz, he's been to see the Oz. He just hasn't he hasn't got his wish. But if
he hasn't gone back to Kansas.
Yeah, right. But I mean, with this team, he's got everything he needs to do that. let's talk about that for a moment. I mean, just a moment. I know it was last year. I know it was a different season, different game. But going undefeated, you better watch out for that guy.
Oh, dude, you know how hard that is?
I mean, he went undefeated. Now, Jason Pierre-Paul, 96. Some people thought he should be in the top 10. He wasn't. Should he have been in the top 10?
Yes.
He was really, really good. 85 speed, 97 excel. So if he gets around that offensive lineman, you better duck and cover, man. Duck and cover.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
And you got Justin Tuck coming from the left.
Justin Tuck, this team is, maybe their corners are a little bit of an issue because Prince does get hurt from time to time. But with that end, you don't really need, good corners. It's kind of the Lions' philosophy, so we'll see. Are they the favorite in the NFC North?
Yeah, if I was to do a rating show, they would definitely have to be up there. Just the whole thing with Jim having an upgrade at Eli Manning. I mean, what is he going to do with that? The sky's the limit.
He's going to do something with it, all right, but... No, the thing is, I like him. He's going to the wild card, I think, but the guy winning the division is coming up in second down. I'll tell you who that is coming up as we break down another team. Let's do this. Let's go to the Cowboys out in Canada. No, that's just the owner. The Canadian owner and runner, though, is taking over his favorite team in the Cowboys. Is it just every international guy who likes the good teams? I mean, we got Manny who likes the Packers, the Cowboys. I mean, what is it with these international guys, Doc? Do they just like the tradition or what it is?
That's a good question.
That's okay. I'll take my Motor City Lions, us guys, we tattoo 0-16 on our chest and we're proud of it. I mean, we overcame it. We're okay. We don't need the overseas guys clouding our judgment. But let's go on to the Cowboys now and talk about the roster and just what you expect from the Cowboys this year. Now, who's the starting running back? Is it Felix Jones or Murray?
I would give it to Murray.
I think I would too. I think there's a definite timeshare there, and if one gets injured, it's a good thing to have. Now, timeshares are good, right? When you have a really good starting running back and a really good backup, you'd prefer that, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, because you never know who's gonna go down.
Yeah, I'd actually prefer that rather than having one of the big guys like a Foster or a MJD, because if they go down, you don't know who you got on your roster. I mean, somebody might like those backups, but what I'm saying is when you can put in your backup and you don't lose much, it's always a good thing. Now, Des Bryant has always been a Madden god, but never in real life. What do you expect from Des Bryant from Madden terms?
Well, I believe 2012 Madden, he went maybe 88, if I believe, right off the bat. And they put him at an 86 this year, so they downgraded him. I think, if I can't be mistaken.
Yeah.
But that's about correct. I think.
They did downgrade him, but he's still got some really good stats. So stocks that being said,
this type of wide receiver, just coming in, he's got big playability, the attributes, show his capability.
97 spectacular catch, for example. 88 catch in traffic. So he's a guy you can lean on when you need that third down conversion.
Yeah, it's when it comes down to it, is he going to be able to hang with the number one cornerbacks?
93 elusiveness. That's pretty good for a big guy. 98 jumping. And I hate to keep going back to Roger Cromartie, but they think Roger Cromartie can jump higher than Des Bryant. Good luck. Anyways, I'll try to digress on that, but that's a shock, and I'm trying to get it through my system as fast as I can, but it's still a little bit of a shock to me. What do you think of newcomers like Chris Carr and the draft pick Claiborne? What do you expect from those guys?
I think they did a excellent job, boosting their defensive side of the ball to help out, DeMarcus Ware, and Ratliff, stuff like that. You can definitely. Their weak link was the cornerback, and they kind of, made a statement saying, okay, we were getting beat pretty bad with cornerbacks, and they upgraded by a lot, and I believe Claiborne within a couple of years will be a top cornerback.
I think he kind of already is a top cornerback, and within a couple of years he could be the best cornerback in the league. I mean, I really like this guy's stats. I mean, Stocks, I love to put you on the spot just because it's kind of funny to see us squirm now and then. I know the listeners really enjoy it. So I'm going to put you on the spot now. Who would you rather have? Everyone in the division. You can have the Redskins, corners. You can have the Eagles corners, the Giants corners, or the Cowboys corners. Who do you take?
I'll take, in Madden, I'll take the Eagles cornerbacks.
Probably a good. I would still take the Giants just because I love Claiborne. I'm gonna get a stat for you, and you're gonna be amazed at what I find here. He's got.
You'll take the Giants or the Cowboys?
I'll take the Cowboys. Excuse me.
Okay.
He's got 93 man, 83 zone. You think, okay, not bad. I'm gonna tell you a stat. You're gonna be amazed if I can find it here. Here it is. Spectacular catch. Make sure I got the right guy now. 65 for a rookie now. So that's going to develop a little bit. I just like this guy's ability to catch the ball. Spectacular catch 65. Okay, what's the big stat, Logan? His catching is phenomenal. I'm trying to find it here. This thing's eluding me, of course. His catching is 77 for a corner that's really, really, really good. I mean,
yeah, he's not going to drop a lot of balls.
I mean, so you're talking about a rookie, Stocks, with 77 catch. In the 90s for man coverage, and the 80s for zone coverage. I mean, his big size, I like him a lot. And I do like the Eagles corners, I should admit, but I just like the depth of the Cowboys corners. They got Chris Carr, who is a Michigan native, by the way, so maybe that's why I give him a little love. They got Claiborne. They got Mike Jenkins, who's an awesome press, corner. I just like the depth of the cornerback. Now, DeMarcus Ware, should he have been in the top 10? I know a lot of people hated on it. And I didn't have a problem with it as much. I mean, he was.
No, I don't have a problem with it because you look at his stats. He's very consistent every year, in and out. He's putting up the stats left and right. He's always disrupting. Whoever cornerback. It doesn't matter if you're double teaming him. He's always disrupting. He's staying very. He's never injured. He's not this big flashy guy, but. Yeah, you have to give him some love, and they definitely did that.
No, he went from a small school. He's not a flashy guy at all. And Stocks talked about it. Well, let's give the guy some credit. Consistency. And you know what happens after the first year? We've seen it with Adamakan Suh. We've seen it with other guys as well. When you give it to them their first year, they double team you, and usually guys plateau a little bit, including even the Adamakan Suh even. And this guy hasn't wavered a single bit. This guy is still a 99. This guy still has 97 Excel. The guy he's a master at getting the quarterback. And I think a lot of times the Cowboys have other holes in their defense, so he kind of goes underwatched and people devalue what he can do. I really think he's one of the most underrated. And it sounds funny, but the guy's a master at getting the quarterback, man. And people want to talk about Pierre Paul. I think the best pass rusher is by far DeMarcus Ware. They just play in a different, this is a 3-4 team, so, no, is it a 4-3 team? But I don't know, but I'm just saying Ware can be plugged and played anywhere. He's a beast. What about Tony Romo, Stocks?
What do you want to know?
Yeah,
what do you want to know about?
Maybe that's all you need to know right there. You're not too.
His 90 overall is solid.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna make some big plays for you. I mean,
He's also.
The attributes don't.
Mm-hmm.
The attributes don't lie. 90 throw power. That's legit. Throw accuracy 88. I think he's a good quarterback. I mean.
Yeah, maybe that's Tony Romo calling me right now to tell me that you messed up on his rating.
Uh-oh.
We're going to let that digress, and we're going to pretend like it never happened, and maybe I can Jetto mind trick it, and it will stop, and it did stop. So now we can go on. I won't answer it. Hopefully Tony will understand. But maybe that also was a call from Jason Witten in the hospital because in real life he's got a spleen injury, probably not going to be totally dominant. What do you expect from Witten in Madden terms?
I think they gave him some love.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in a 93. I really don't. I don't think he's an elite. They don't look for him inside, the red zone. And what does that say? It says that, I think he's not capable of busting out, going up and getting the ball. He's just not that. He doesn't have that hunger to get that ball and make that big catch.
97 catching, so don't hate on his catching. Madden says don't hate, man. Stop.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, but you don't see. I don't think I've ever seen a highlight reel of Jason Witten making a super, Antonio Gates, Vernon Davis type catch. And with the 93 overall, I think they're trying to keep him in that category. And I think he should be bumped down just a hair.
I agree. That's one thing we agree on completely. No question about it. 97 catch is just too high for him. He is Tony Romo's safety valve, but Stocks mentioned it. Is he still that elite, tight end? And being a 93 overall, whenever you rated a tight end in the 90 range, you're saying he's elite. And I'm not sure he is. But the thing is, I find extremely weird about some of these ratings. Jason Witten has a 78 carrying. When's the last time you've seen Jason Witten carry a lot of balls?
Not too sure. If you find it on YouTube, can you send it to my email?
Yeah, send it to me too. Send it to anyone. I don't know. I think even Runner would agree with that. I don't know any. Maybe he's had a run or two, but 78 that's higher than some running back stocks. I honestly don't know. And then the 99 stamina, I get it. He's always on the field, but I don't know, man. And some of these stats about Jason Witten are just baffling. You're going to laugh at this one, Stocks. 98 catching traffic.
I don't know about that, man. I just don't see it. I watch a lot of football, and I watch a lot of highlights, the next morning. And maybe he's just, I'm not seeing him. Maybe I got to put my glasses on. I wear reading glasses, so I'll wear them next time he plays and just really watch. But I don't believe he's that type of player.
Maybe Madden just like me. They don't like to do the math, so they're not going to look at the ratios. Because the honest truth is, Tony throws to him a lot, but that does not make him an elite tight end. Because Tony throws to him a lot, and Tony does a lot of stupid things, in my opinion, and gets himself in trouble, and, Witten's the only guy who's, throwing him the lifeboat, if you will, and saying, hold on, I'll save you. Doesn't mean he always saves him. Let's be honest, there's a lot of times that he'll throw to Witten, and it'll be just a horrible throw that Witten can't get to. I'm not hating on Witten either as Stocks. We're just saying a little bit of a downgrade. We've seen a downgrade in this division with Michael Vick, which you can still argue he needs to go down a little bit, but at least we saw a little bit of a downgrade. Witten, he was a 97 last year, I think, but even that was extremely high, and I don't know if he still should be in the 90s. Anything else, Jim, about this team? This team, they have holes, obviously. They have some nice pieces. We mentioned Felix Jones, Murray, who you rather start. They got a nice kicker. They got some nice pieces. I don't want to hate on this team. They got a nice young tight end in Phillips. We talked about the corners maybe being the best corners in the division by far. But we're talking about a flashy division, I think. We got the Redskins with RG3, Michael Vick, Jason Pierre-Paul just peeling on the corner. I think it's Ware and a bunch of boys trying to make it. I really do. I don't mean to kind of wordplay on the Cowboys, but it's Ware and a bunch of boys, in my opinion. Des Bryant, is he ever going to step up and be a great player? Who knows? Runner always seems to trade him for one reason or another. Runner's a Cowboys fan, so if he's trading Des Bryant, he must, there must be a reason why. You know what I mean, Stocks?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Definitely.
Miles Austin finished with the Patriots last year, so there must be a reason. Runner does some baffling things. Don't get me wrong, Canadians are a little bit out there, but honestly, I don't. I'll repeat it again. It's Ware and a bunch of boys. I don't know if there's one guy in this roster outside of Claiborne that I'd say, I have to have him, because you're not going to get Ware very cheap. So other than that, I don't know if there's any guy I'm like, wow, this roster just isn't flashy to me.
No, it doesn't catch your eye. It's got some pieces, it's got some foundation, but it's got some big holes, and it starts with the offensive line. I think the offensive line is very sparse and spare parts, and
now, we should mention is Ratliff is one of the most underrated defensive tackles, I think. 70 speed, 92 overall. He's got some really good ability. But, I think what we're saying here, Stocks, is they got some nice players, but then they also got some big holes. And when you got a bunch of nice players that can fit into a big hole, I mean, you got to have you got to have the guys underneath them, the depth guys, push them out of the hole. You can't just have a bunch of really good players. I mean,
but I think the Cowboys team right now in 13 fits Runner pretty well, because Runner he's very good off the sticks. You know what I mean? He's very good with his trades, his draft picks. He's very good off the sticks, and I think this is the type of team, if he does right and he does what he's really good at, he can make this team and fill those holes.
He makes too many trades, in my opinion.
Okay.
And the thing is, he gives up on his quarterback too fast. I've always said Runner is one of the most underrated runners in the game. I mean, his name speaks for himself. He's terrific. He knows how to hit the holes. He mixes Felix and Murray, and he gets young guys like there's another young running back he likes who I don't know the name of, who I'm probably not going to look at in this spreadsheet because I'll murder his name just like I did with a bunch of Eagles down the line, and so we're not going to go into that again. But he's a really good runner. He knows where to find his holes. But like Stock says, with the line maybe not being the best, I would challenge Runner, if he's listening now, stick with the quarterback, man. I don't care if it's Orton. I don't care. I mean, but you know how often this guy played quarterback. Roulette, man. He was just remember you played him, and you played his backup running back, and I played another running back. I played his third. He always just seemed to have a different running back. And I know he's not a big Romo fan. He gives up on Romo. That's fine. But find a quarterback early and stick with him. I mean, I don't know. Because, like real life, you got to have a quarterback. And if you don't have a quarterback, then you don't have much. Do you think Romo can be, let's say, a quarterback on a Super Bowl team? Not saying he had to do it all. I'm not saying he has to be Tom Brady. Do you think he could be a quarterback that could lead a team to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, if you have the right pieces around him and a better offensive line, of course. He definitely has the skills to be able to do what it's capable, what you have to do to get to that Super Bowl, and he can make all the throws. He's not fast, but he can step up in the pocket, Yeah. So, I think he could.
Yeah, I think so too. And it sounds like we're hating on this team, so I want to play a little. What would you do? Would you take what would you do if you had the choice? Would you take the Cowboys or the Redskins?
Redskins.
See, I would take the Cowboys. Cowboys or Cardinals?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Cowboys or Ravens?
Ravens.
Yeah, probably. I like how young this team is, though. That's my point. I mean, Chris Carr's still young. Claiborne's still young. You got Des Bryant, who really is still young. He tries to act like a older guy and drink a lot of alcohol, but we all know he can't handle his alcohol because he's always getting DUIs and acting like a child. So this team is still quite young, but they're not flashy, though, are they, Stacks? I mean, you picked the Redskins. Let's be honest, for RG3, didn't you?
No, I just picked them because I like I like RG3, what he can do, and he's got a lot more ability, I think, right now than Tony Romo, because Tony Romo's, I think, is coming down from his peak, where RG3 is going to start going up. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So the Cowboys are middle of the team pack on this year. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at. We're not saying they're a bad team. We're not saying they're a good team. But in that division, it's going to be real tough. That's the expectation on them, right? What's a good season? You said for the Vikings, a good season would be 8-8. What about the Cowboys?
Yeah, an 8-8. 8-8 would be solid. Yeah. And I think a lot of those wins can be increased by what Runner does. Inside the lobby.
Now you have Miles Austin and Des Bryant. Do you trade both of them, or do you utilize both of them?
If I owned this team, Jason Witten would be gone. And yeah, I would probably trade Des Bryant just on his name value. I would leave Miles Austin.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. I think not saying I don't like Des Bryant. I just think his name value alone, like a Terrell Owens, the name alone heightens the value to a level that you have to get rid of him. I would not trade Ware. He traded Ware last year. Run to learn from your mistakes. Like Manny, do not trade your corner piece of the team. It just doesn't do good. Now, let's say Runner does do what Runner usually does and trades Tony Romo. Kyle Orton, good quarterback, serviceable quarterback. Could he start?
He's serviceable, yeah. Yep.
So that could happen. Okay, I think we did all right with the Cowboys. They finished last with the Redskins. I'm guessing you think the Eagles are going to finish second, or no?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's to you it's Giants, Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys. All right, man, you heard it first. That's your motivation right there to get after stocks. I didn't say I'm going to get out of here before I have to make a prediction. Let's see ya when we see ya. Peace. Got his meeting running the ship for a while. Stocks couldn't join me tonight, and we unfortunately lost the recorded data we had for the Eagles. So I will redo the Eagles right now and say they're the most talented, explosive team, and since they have really fast wide receivers, Deshaun Jackson, Macklin, dynamic, quick guys who can get downfield, who can make big plays. They obviously got the feet, the quickness, the agility, and the all-around, he is the originator in Michael Vick. He is RG3 before RG3. He is the guy who could run and pass, and having that in Madden, and having a good owner in True, not only a good owner, a great owner in True, is a very, very valuable thing to have. And with this team, you got maybe one of the best D lines in Trent Cole, and they got some big boys in there. Mike Patterson's still there. Excuse me. They got some big boys who can go and get after the passer. Brockers was their first round pick. So, they got some big boys who can get after it. Asamoah. I think they have the most underrated Madden. I'll call him a Madden god because I don't know what it is, but he always gets good stats at Madden no matter what he does in real life. And that's, and that was on purpose. But that is because, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rogers Cromartie is a phenomenal corner in this game. 81 overall, lightning fast, can jump as high as Kelvin Johnson. I think he's got 99 jump. So it's just phenomenal what he can do. I honestly, I've said this before, I think they have the most inflated roster. I don't think they deserve the ratings they've got, but they've got some good guys. Trent Cole. But like I said, the defense should hold serve. They got one of the best D-lines in the game, Trent Cole and Brockers. And that should form a pretty good form. The thing I have is True going to stay 3-4? Is he going to go to, is he going to conform to the Eagles 4-3? That's going to be a big thing because if he stays with the Eagles 4-3, he's going to have a chance to win now. But if he rebuilds, it could take him a while. So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, he's got one of the most explosive wide receivers though in the game. Deshaun Jackson, who can return punts, kick returns. You never know where this guy's going to flash in the pan and return one to the house. He can also catch the ball phenomenal. These guys are jets. They can just, you line them off in the streak, you fire them off like cannons, and then, you got the versatility of Michael Vick. It's going to be scary. And I'm not even talking about one of the best running backs. I know Stocks love this guy. I'm not saying he's Barry Sanders, but he's the closest thing to Barry Sanders we have in the league today, and that is Shady McCoy. The dude has 99 elusiveness, 97 agility. He's got all the shake ability you can get. Mama's Fried Chicken would be very happy with the shake and bake moves he's got on him. Excuse me, I got a little cough today, but McCoy is a really interesting back, can do it all. He's got one of the best hands for a running back. He's got, I think, in the 80, 88, 84, 85 range for, catching, which is awesome for a running back. He can do it all. You don't have to worry about him. He's not liable on third downs. He can do that as well. I don't see a real escaping hole, and they're my favorite in the division to win it just because of the ability of True, of the ability of, Michael Vick. The only thing you got to worry about with Michael Vick is the injury concern, so just keep him out of the hospital, True, and you'll be all right, man. But I'm sorry, but I keep going back to this. I can't get it out of my system. It takes me a while to digest, but the Eagles really the most overrated. What did Rogers Cromartie really do to earn that rating? Someone answer that, please, for me in the forums, in the chats, wherever you got to answer. Hit me up fast, hit me up slow, whatever you got to do. But I want to know what Roger Cromartie did to earn that. So I got to know what that is. And another thing is, Michael Vick, how long has he got left? I mean, the guy's getting older. The injuries are low, so does he look for a backup? I think it's probably a good thing. The kid out of Arizona played well in the preseason, so maybe he gets a spike in Madden in our season. I think the Eagles are a team to be reckoned with. The thing is we're going to put this on the board. Is stocks like the Giants to win the division. I take True in the Eagles. We'll see what happens. I don't know if you really need to talk about this team much. We know who Oswald is. He's supposed to be this lockdown corner. Didn't see it much, but in Madden terms, he's going to be a lockdown corner. Rogers Cromartie probably going to be a lockdown corner. I'm on record for saying the Cowboys, I think, in this division have the best corners. But in second place, you got to look at a team like the Eagles. They got some weapons. I mean, they're going to give up big plays, but they're also going to make big plays. Deshaun Jackson might miss a 10-yard, a slant, but then he's going to catch a 60-yard, bomb, a fly route. He's going to just light it up. He might return a kick like he did with the Giants in real life. With the ability of True, you just never know what to expect from the Eagles, and I'm very excited to see what they can do. Now, that being said, I think they have the most overrated roster in Madden, but I don't think True's going to feel too bad about that. He's going to take what he's got, and he's going to maximize the talent, as much as he can. I think he's got Matthew's cousin, so I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Maybe trade bait there. That's a name. So obviously we've talked about names before. It can be good trade baits. Looking at it, but True does like his fast linebackers, so we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna get out of here with this. Sorry this wasn't longer. We lost the file. My fault. True, hit me up if you really want to show me some hate, man. But I did the best I could. Peace out, guys.